Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, depending on where you are in the world. This is Gloria White, and I'm coming to you from Utah, USA. Today, I am going to be in my living room. Now, if you think you can't do gardening indoors, you're wrong. It might be a little weird, and it might be a little difficult, especially when you've got food stacked to the rafters and you have no room to move around. It's insane. But I have tomatoes and peppers that need to get transplanted. So I was thinking I needed one of these little swimming pools. Now, this is how good God is to me. I found this little swimming pool in a parking lot, and it had been abandoned. And I thought, oh, well, some little kid's pool, blew away or something. And this was before the windstorm. Anyway, I picked it up and I looked at it, and it had holes in the bottom of it. So I taped the holes with duct tape. I was going to caulk them on the inside, but I don't think that's necessary. Anyway, so I got this little swimming pool. And I'm going to throw another piece of furniture out so I can move my hydroponic garden into the living room. Anyway, I went to the store in my wheelchair, and I got these little white buckets there, the little round ones. And they're BPA free, so yay! And I got some other stuff. And it's not that expensive. It's a Cowgirl brand, and it's a dairy cow compost. So it's got manure in it. But the lovely part about this is it does not smell. Yay. And then I was going to get some sand, but I couldn't figure out how to get a 50-pound bag of sand home. I did bring 80 pounds of this compost home. So I have this perlite, and I was going to get the sand so that I could improve the aeration so that my soil doesn't get so soppy wet. The water will actually drain well. But also to hold the moisture in so it doesn't dry out too much, I got some peat moss. And anytime I've ever had a garden, I've put in compost, peat moss, and dirt. I've never used the perlite and soil. I usually use sand. But I don't have any sand, and I couldn't get any at home. So I've got this about a half a bag of potting mix, and I'm going to dump that out in here and to my little swimming pool. So I want to fill up these 7 1-gallon pots. So I see this has some perlite in it, vermiculite, whatever you want to call it. So I put this in there, and I was wishing I had a shovel or a hoe, but I remember I have a snow shovel. Not like your regular kind of snow shovel, but a snow shovel nonetheless. It's looks more like a coal shovel, but I don't know if I'm going to need that. So I'm going to put that in there, and I'm going to put you guys on a tripod so that I can have both hands free. So bear with me. I'll get you on there. And set you up so you can see as I work. How's that? Up, up. I don't know how to make it do that without falling over. Oh man, I tell you, this YouTube video making is a challenge on your brain. But I guess if I work at it, I can figure something out, right? Let me see if I can balance you on this glass I've got here. Maybe if I put this jar of peanut butter back here, it'll hold the camera so it doesn't fall. Might not be heavy enough. How's that? That's pretty good. Let's see. Yeah, I think that'll work. Okay, knocking things all over the floor, which is my usual way I live here because I have so much stuff everywhere. Okay, so the 40-pound bag of compost, I actually had to break it up into grocery bags, the plastic grocery bags, so I could put it on the back of my wheelchair and bring it home. So I'm just going to dump it out here in the pool. This is apartment living at its finest, right? Gardening in an apartment. And people are like, well, why don't you put it on your patio? Well, because where I live, you can't have anything on your patio except 2 pieces of patio furniture. And you cannot, even if I could put anything out there, it wouldn't grow because there's no sun. I'm on the north side of the building, and it's pretty dark. There's a tree out there, and then their big carport, so no sun gets through. But look how beautiful and rich this is, and it's got really good reviews that it didn't have a lot of sticks or anything in it. So I'm happy about that. So I broke this manure up, the 140-pound bag, and the little guy over there at Lowe's was such a help to me. I so appreciate him. I doubt if you'd ever seen my video, but I'm thinking about him. Oh, my back does not like this. But my belly will sure like those tomatoes and peppers. That's for sure. Okay. I'm trying to keep from getting dirt in the carpet. And I've got one more bag, which will make 40 pounds. Now, God help me if I have to move this swimming pool. That would be ridiculous. Okay. There's that. Spread this out. Yeah, I started my garden hydroponics, and that didn't work out so good. It's expensive to buy the stuff for the roots and stuff to treat and fertilizer, and then you have to test the soil. I mean, you have to test the water, the fertilizer. You have to make sure it's pH balanced. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is more than I can do. I'm going back to dirt. I know dirt. You put it in the pot and you water it. Okay, so now I need a bag of this peat moss. I'm so jacked up here, I can't even get my walker over here. God help me if I have to sit down, because I'll have to climb in the pool. Okay. Let me see if I can reach my knife. Okay. So, I've got my peat moss here. cut this bag open. So it's not impossible to garden indoors. If you have no light, you can get some grow lights. So this is a bag of peat moss that also helps retain your nutrients so they don't all wash out the bottom of your pot. And this was a 8-quart bag. Okay. Now then. Oh. All right. Now then. I need to put some perlite in there, and I've got a bag of that open already because I was planning on hydroponically growing carrots in perlite. But let me pause you for a minute. I gotta rest for a second. Okay, took a little break. Now I've got to see if I can reach this perlite over here. Got it all the way over here in the corner, behind a bag of dog food. Don't forget to prep for your pets. And you have to be careful with this stuff because of the dust. See all the dust coming off of that? So I'm going to put this on here, and then I'm going to wait for that dust to settle. Whew. Okay, so I have my handy dandy pasta scooper, and I'm going to use it because I gave all my gardening tools to my daughter when I moved in this apartment, thinking I would never need them again because, you know, apartment living. But turns out I was wrong about that. Mr. Tom, this is all your fault. Ah, Mr. Tom, you're so good to us. Bless your heart. So I'm just going to mix this all up good. So see, it is possible to garden in your apartment. Just need a little room to get in the floor. And then of course I have my help me I've fallen and I can't get up button if I can't get up after I'm down here. Oh my gosh. Okay. I want to get this perlite into the soil so I'm not getting that dust. Then I'll probably have to use my hands to get this all mixed in good together. But this is going to be some nice rich soil for my little tomatoes and bell peppers. Folks, I've been looking at the websites for food. It's starting to get kind of scary. The price of things are going up so high. And so what money you have is not going to go as far as it would have a year ago. So it's going to be a real blessing for those of you who've been listening to God when He was whispering in your ear to start saving back food. And instead of waiting for this COVID virus and waiting for the news to start telling you and who to start telling you that there's going to be a global famine. But I've got about 100 pounds of flour here, 50 pounds of rice, and let's see, 25 pounds of salt. Folks, don't forget about your salt, because You gotta have salt to live. Your body needs salt. We're electrical beings. Our brains have an electrical current, and so it needs the salt in our bodies that are 65% water in order to stay charged up properly. If you've ever been dehydrated, you know you don't feel so good. And that brings me to storing water. Now, I buy the spring water in the 4 gallons in a box, and I've been ordering those to be delivered to my home. But until I get the flour and the rice and the 25 pounds of oats, and what else do I have back there? It's gotta get in buckets. I'm not ordering any more water right now, but I plan on making a big fat order that I can pay with my next check. I usually get about 40 boxes at a time, and that's about what I've got back there right now. 40 boxes times 4. So I've got about 160 gallons on hand. I also have a life straw. One single life straw I was able to afford. And in the event that I have to filter water from somewhere. But here, I'm in the high desert, folks. And there's not a whole lot of water around here. There's one stream that I know of. There's a spring in one of the cities here nearby me that people go and get spring water. If I had a vehicle, I'd be down there filling up all my empty jugs from the water I have bought. And I saved those jugs. Some of them I filled up with just plain old tap water, because you have to realize that you're not going to just need water for rehydrating all your freeze-dried food or dehydrated food. But if you have beans, you're going to need water to cook those. And you're going to need water to clean up your dishes. You're going to need water to clean up yourselves, to wash your hands and try to keep clean. It's very important to try to stay clean. That can cause all kinds of health problems if you don't keep up with your hygiene. So you're going to want water for that. So if you have containers that you're not using to put your dry beans and stuff in, I suggest you start filling up those empty containers with faucet water so that you can have water to wash your hands and clean your kids up or clean yourself up, to clean up your kitchen or wash some dishes or pots or whatever you have to use to prepare your food. And God bless those of you who can afford paper plates. I'm not one of those people. I figure if I have to do something, I don't know what, if I have to get a bucket of sand to clean my iron skillets with, and a little bit of water to wash them out and dry them, like my mom did when we were camping, that's what I'll do. If I have to eat out of the pot, I will. And lick my spoon clean, and that way I'll use even less water. But if you can start filling up even your empty soda bottles would be good. Because, well, there's one little piece of stick in that cowgirl manure compost. But the review said that there were hardly any sticks, and I can tell you that's the only one I've found so far. But try to save back water in any kind of container you have, because otherwise you're going to be there going, yeah, well, we have drinking water here and we can cook our food, And then the next thing you know, you need to wash a dish or wash your hands or clean yourself up or clean your kids up. Oh my goodness, if you have kids, you know what a challenge that is. So please be thinking about saving back water that's for cleaning. Not just for drinking, but for cleaning. And cooking your dehydrated foods. Yeah, I'm going to tell you, they aren't going to do you much good if you don't have the water to rehydrate them. Because you're not going to be able to eat them without water. And I've been canning. I've been canning mostly meat. Remember when we had the COVID first started and the food chain started breaking down and you could only get 1 pack of meat at the store? Well, it's going to be even harder if everything goes down. So, please be thinking about meat. And the good thing about canning, if you can find supplies now, canning anything that you put up in your pressure canner is not going to require a drop of water or any heat. You can just open it and eat it. So please be thinking about trying to do that. And I've been hearing there's a lot of people saying you can't even get canning supplies now. So if you're needing jars, you can try estate sales. You can go to your local senior center and see if there are any seniors there that have jars that have given up canning, and maybe you can get some jars from them. And I'm sure they'd appreciate a couple of dollars in their pocket. Some of them might just be willing to give them to you to help you. And then estate sales and garage sales. There are people that use like old mayonnaise jars and things like that. It's not recommended, but you know, our grandparents did it and they didn't die. So just make sure you have everything clean and you process stuff for the right amount of time. Because if you don't, then you could wind up with botulism, and that's very bad stuff. And it doesn't smell, and so you can't smell it that it's in there. I see my doggy's checking this out. Thank goodness I don't have a cat. Oh, a cat would just think this is heaven. Yeah, a cat would just be going crazy in here. But like I said, I've been canning up a lot of meat. I've got over 100 jars of meat canned up. Now, if you say, wow, that's a lot of meat. Well, yep, that's a lot of meat. But how long would that really last me? How long is that going to last me? 100 jars of meat. Now, I'm not just prepping for myself, and I know a lot of you out there that are doing the same thing. You have daughters and sons, and they don't think that this is real. They don't believe it's ever going to be a problem, that they'll be able to go to the store and get whatever they want all the time. But they don't get it. They don't get it. And if you are a Christian and you read your Bible and you believe what God has said, and you can read the times and the signs, we are the last generation. When Israel became a nation in 1948, that marked the beginning of the end of this world. And Jesus said in Matthew 24 and Luke 13, and Mark 13 and Luke 21. You can go read it for yourselves, or you can go down below in my video list and see where I actually put that in there. I read off all three of the chapters that I just quoted to you. And they directly relate back. You can follow the scripture back in Revelation 6. And you can go back and forth between that and Mark and find everything that was said there in Mark 13. So I did a video on that just a couple days back. And we have to realize that when the Lord is talking to you, are you listening to what He's saying? Are you paying attention? Are you doing what He's put on your heart? What He's whispering in your ear? Because if you're not, you're losing a valuable blessing. Because God put it in my heart 2 years ago to start preparing. And when I'm telling you what I have here, that's not what I have already sent to my daughter's house. And I don't know how many, I counted up the other day, I probably have 50 pounds of beans here. Not all pintos, but some white beans and a few navy beans. And lots of lentils. And I've been buying some dehydrated foods from Addison Farms. Dried bell peppers. And I also bought a 25-pound bag of minced onion because word is, and if any of you follow Mr. Tom with Deep South Bama with Mr. Tom, he follows the Ice Age farmer. And I don't know for sure, but I'm imagining some of that information about a shortage coming for onion and garlic came from the Ice Age farmer. I haven't gone and checked that, but that's just my suspicion. Now, I know that I couldn't dehydrate onions because I'm allergic to them. Now, I don't know how many of you have a dehydrator, but dehydrating food is a great way to keep it if you have water to rehydrate it. The other good thing about dehydration is that it doesn't take up as much room. And all of you that are depending on your freezers, what's going to happen to all that food if the power goes out? Yeah, I know. Some of you have generators, but how long are you going to be able to keep that going? And will your generator allow you to be able to take and can up your food once your power's out and you go like, oh, well, I guess it's not coming back on this week, honey. So, I don't know what's up, but my dog is just crawled on top of me and made herself at home. Now, she's not a little dog. Then some of you have seen the Annie and Gloria show. Annie, what are you doing? Baby, you got